Welcome to this test video on PlayStation 4 on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Okay, as you've already seen, I was doing silage baling. Now, this is not about baling correctly, realistically, or anything like that. This is about baling. This is testing out the new super bale storage barns buildings from DDModPassion on console, on PlayStation. I've had a lot of comments off the back of the mod review I did of it, saying it's the biggest game change yet, saying it doesn't work, and that when you save the game and come out and come back, the bales are gone. So what I'm trying to do is test it to either disprove it or find out, you know what, people are actually correct. So I did a load of silage bales and I've done some hay bales, put them into the storage buildings and saved it. I've been to bed, it's the following day, I've got up, so now I'm coming back into the game now. As you can see, start screen. So I click on start, I'm going to tab to the vehicle closest to, which is this one here, and turn around. And they're still there. So, silage bales that I've already done and the hay bales I've done so far. Now what I'm looking at doing is testing a couple of things. One, can you save the game and them still be there? Now, this could be specific to no man's land for some reason, so the final part of this test is going to be doing a similar thing with one barn, not three, on a different map, to see if it works on a different map as well. It would be unusual if it would be just those two maps specifically, but who knows, we'll see. Now what I'm intending to do is do one of silage, one of hay, one of straw, you know, for the example of if you were making total mixed ration for cows. The other part of the test I'm going to do, I don't normally have multiple variables running on any test I do, but I am going to be doing it on this one, is that at the moment what I've got in both of these doesn't go beyond the 200 bale limit on console yet. Each one of these I picked, these are the round bale storage ones, and each one of these will do 234 round bales. So potentially any one of these full will go beyond the limit. So what I'm trying to see is, combined, doesn't matter how many I have in them, but if I go beyond the 200 bale limit, save it, come back in again, one, DDModPassion has beaten the bale limit on console, and two, they do work and you can store your stuff in them. I'm going to do some more hay bales, and what I'm going to do is show you what you're supposed to do. But what I'm going to do very quickly, I always say very quickly, apologies, I know that annoys people a lot, is we're going to go into this menu, go across the baling technology. If you haven't seen the mod review, these things are, they just blew my mind. But like I say, I have had a ton of comments, people saying they don't work, they're pointless, you know, what is the point in them? So they're under baling technology. These are the ones where you can store your bales. There are another set of these that are under sheds, which are just sheds. But these ones, as you can see at the bottom, it will give you a bale amount. So each one will say how many bales it holds and what type. That one will do 42 square bales. That one will do 49 round bales. And at the bottom it says, before saving your game, remember to unload the bales on the ground. The game does not save the loaded bales. Approach the icon placed near the tunnel to load or unload the bales. Now, I read that as, a lot of people have read that as, before saving your game, remember to unload the bales, the game does not save loaded bales. So what people are saying is, well, it won't save them. What's the point? As soon as you come out of the game. Now, the point about that is, when you, this is like an auto-load trailer in essence. So that if you come up to here, drop bales on the floor, click on this and then put it into its operating position, it will auto load them from here into there, which is fine. And this is the difference between what I've always said with auto load bale trailers. You've got an ethereal bale, a bale that's been auto loaded onto the trailer and is there, you can see it, but it doesn't have any mass, it's not actually technically there. And an unloaded bale, if you unload it onto the trailer, you see it drop, the trailer suddenly has weight and mass, and those bales have a mass of their own, and they are then technically in existence. You have to do exactly the same thing with these. You have to unload them onto the floor, and when you do that process, what I'm going to do now is just show you. If we go into enter vehicle, so at the moment I've already done that, they're unloaded onto the floor. If I press operating position, L1 and square, it will restack them all. So basically the counter's going up now, it's rechecking to make sure they're all there. I hope this works, and they're all still there. Should be 100 and something. There you go, 104 round bales in there. So at the moment, if I load them in like this and fill that up to 234 and then come out of here like this, save my game and come back, they're going to disappear because they are technically not there. They are ethereal bales. What I need to do is come back onto here, and up the top it says unload bales, L1 and triangle, and watch the bales. They suddenly have mass, they drop to the floor, they are now actual bales. If you save the game now and come back in, they should be there. But like I say, I am going to test that theory on another map as well to make sure it's not just something specific to No Man's Land, something weird that in Jim's coding, you know, I can't imagine it would be, but that's what we're going to test. So what I am going to do next though, I need to make a load more hay bales, because I think combined I've got 104 there. I think I've only got about 50 something there. I haven't reached my 200 limit, and I want to do some straw bales as well to make sure it works with all three bale types, and we don't have any problems. So I will see you in a bit when I've got a load more bales done. That is the plan. Okay, I'm back, and this is why I'm doing testing on this. Because when I did the mod review, I did something different. And this was one of the things I wanted to test as well. When I did the mod review, I bought bales because it was the quickest and easiest way for me on console to get enough bales to put in there to test the storage capacity. So I was buying bales, stacks and stacks and stacks of them, bringing them over, putting them into the shelter. So I thought part of the test this time as well will be making bales. So as you've seen, I've been making them. I didn't have any straw field, so what I did was bought the straw, slung it out on the field, no different to there being a straw swath, then baled it. So I've done all the baling myself, and this is where things have got a little bit peculiar. In there I've got 104, in there I've got 67, on here I've got 29. Those three numbers combined come to 200. And it just came up saying no more bales allowed. We'll check it in a second. You need to sell some. So I've hit my 200 bale limit. When I was buying them, I didn't. So that's a bit of a peculiar one. Anyway, what I'm going to show you is unloading. Now, unloading, this is an auto-load trailer. Now, you can put them on auto-load, you can load them on manually, however you want to put your bales on. But with an auto-load trailer, you have to unload here, and it will drop them onto the trailer, or you can unload them onto the ground. It doesn't matter which, but when you put them in, you want to put them in the gap between the silo and the little trigger, because that's what registers as the trigger point. So if I go onto this now and press operating position, it will take them all off this trailer and put them into the storage. So that's my 29. Now again, if I leave them like that and walk away and then save it, they will disappear. So I've got to unload them. L1 and triangle, they are now technically proper bales. So if I come out, what I'm going to do is save the game, come back in, and I'm going to try something else because I'm really puzzled now. And like I say, this is the whole point of testing this, is to see what happens, because what you think might happen might not, or what you think's going to happen might be absolutely exactly what happens. Well, that's the whole point. So I'm going to save the game. Let's go into there, save game. And I always, don't know why, I always save game twice. I always worry if I come out of the game and it didn't save properly. It's weird, isn't it? I don't know why. And now quit the game. Okay. Back on. Okay, let's see. Press start. Yep, all my bales are there. So I saved it, came out, all my bales are there. But again, I'm still sitting on 200. I'm just going to tab over to my baler. See if it will tell me that I can't bale anymore. Because I've got to sell some. It's so weird. Well, it's not weird, it's the bale limit, but that's what I thought. Yeah, there are too many bales, please sell some first. What if I put them all like ethereal? Let's see if I can, if I go into there, to operating position. Or will it still register there are 200, regardless whether they're technically there or not there? Well, that's those. Or is it just registering you've made 200 bales? To make sure that I unload them again if I want them. There's my 67. And this should be 29. Yep. Okay, let's try that again. Yeah, doesn't matter whether they're technically there or not there. It won't let me do any more than 200. Okay, so next thing then, because when I did the testing I bought bales, what about if I buy bales? Now something I've got to pay attention to here is my slot count. If I go to garage, at the moment we're on 465. I'm just going to jot that down, because I'm pretty sure if you buy bales they eat into your slot count. I haven't done it for a long time, but I'm pretty sure they do. So let's go down, go to round bales, straw, click on that, 8 buy. Now that's interesting. Right, delivery space is blocked. And my slot count is still saying 465. So that hasn't affected my slot count at all. Just cost me 78 grand. But I was able to buy a load. So I can't make any more, but I can buy them. I'm going to check that one more time just to make sure. My slot count is still saying 465. So those bales I've just bought haven't eaten into my slot count either on my console. Now this is not something I've done. Oh, I've gone past it. There we go. This is not something I've done before, in all honesty, and this is going to be part of the testing too. I've never tested to see whether or not you can buy bales and go beyond the limit, or it's just making bales that won't let you. But it doesn't make any sense, because surely bales are bales. Because if you can buy bales and go beyond the limit, then having a limit on the is irrelevant then, surely. I've got 200 sitting there, and let's go up and have a look, because I've bought stacks of these. We're going to see how many more we've got. So buying them has allowed me to go way beyond the bale limit. And that's, like I say, that was something I wanted to test, because when I did the mod review I bought the bales. So weirdly it's not allowing me to make any more bales, but I can buy, look at all that lot. So the next test then is, let's store them all. Will it let me save it and come back in, and will they all still be there? Or will the computer, will the game think, hang on a minute, you've gone beyond your 200, you can't have this? Because this is very strange at the moment. Operating position. This has got me absolutely baffled. So, as I said before, what I'll do now is L1 and triangle unload bales. L1 and triangle unload bales here, and if you look, they'll drop onto the trailer. There you go. We've got mass again. Then we go to there. So we're up to 73. We were on 29, we've got 73. So we've gone beyond the 200 bale limit. Go and grab some more. This is going to involve more testing now, because I'm going to have to test this on a fresh map and just buy 200 bales. And not even have the barns, the buildings, just buy them and put them out, and will it let me go beyond 200 buying them? Because by my reckoning it's going to let me. And the stupid thing is, I'm now thinking, has that always been a thing? Is that always been a thing? Just haven't... No, everybody that I'm aware of refers to the bale limit on console. There's a 200 bale limit, always has been. But then technically, surely this must have been tested by someone else before, surely. I can't be the first person that's realised this. There'll be loads of people in the comments going, no, we've always known that. It's funny because no one's ever commented or mentioned it before. Not a soul. Every time on a video I've mentioned the 200 bale limit, no one said, oh, buy them. Right, before I save this and come back on again to check it, I thought let's go the whole hog, fill them up. So on top of the 200 bales that I made, 104 in there, 67 in there, 29 in there, I then started buying bales, which you've already seen. Now what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to check my slot count. Still saying 465, so all the bales I've bought have not affected my slot count at all. That has now got 234 round silage bales. That's got 234 round hay bales. That's got 234 round straw bales. But I bought too many, way too many. So those are all hay and those are all straw. So we've blown the 200 bale limit out the window. But it would appear you can make your own to 200, but you can buy as many as you like, which doesn't make any sense to me. But now the next test is to save it, come back in. Are they all going to still be here? Let's see, shall we? Okay, moment of truth. Start the game. They're all there. Every single one. So, I mean, this testing has gone way beyond. I initially was going to come on and test these, the tunnels, the Euro tunnel arc by DDModPassion. These are, the rest of it aside, these are great mods for storage and stuff, fantastic. What I've kind of then uncovered and gone down the rabbit hole a little bit further on, and which is great with any experiment you do, you can get an answer, but it could open up 3 more questions, and then it's following those questions to a conclusion as well. So what we're going to do now, I've come back onto No Man's Land. All the bales are still here. 234, 234, 234, plus all the ones that are on the ground are all still here. It won't let me bale anymore. I can't make any more myself, but I can buy them. It's not going to please everyone, but it does mean the 200 bale limit is kind of a moot point now. But anyway, what I'm going to do now is go to a different map. Check 2 things. Well, I say 2 things, we'll see what happens, but 2 things. Can I buy 200 bales straight off the bat and the map just accept that, no problem at all? And then can I place said bales into one of these storage buildings, save it, come out, come back, and them still be there? If I can, then these work perfectly. There's nothing wrong with them at all. So I'm going to see you in a bit. I've got a load more setting up and a load more work to do. And this map is going to be completely revamped again. I'm going to reset this as my test map because I've done so much on it now, it needs a bit of a revamp. So I'll delete it, restart it, and reset up my test map. But yeah, so far, mixed results, but I think in a positive way. For the next part of this test, I'm on Felsbrunn. The first map up was almost No Man's Land by Alien Jim. This is a Giants map, a sort of standard in-game, one of the first maps we had with the game. So I thought, what better way to kind of contrast the two. It could be a mod map thing, it could be whatever. So, but what I'm also going to do, I'm going to buy square bales this time rather than round, so we can test the square versus round bale. I don't want it to be that the round bales will save and stay there, but square bales won't. So let's do that. I'm going to go down to square bales, or bales. It doesn't really matter what we do. Click on that, do that. So what I'm going to do to start off with, I'm going to buy 200, at least 200. I'll move them off the pad because it won't let me obviously leave them all here. I'm going to have to keep track of this, aren't I? Just so I realised. I'll do that with the trailer. How many is this going to let me place? Quite a lot. Whoa. Okay, right, so I'm going to move them out of the way. And if we've got 200, then already the 200 bale limit thing is a moot point. Oh, I didn't think to check the slot count, did I? But let's open that up. Operating position. This is going to do 40, I think, at a time. So we'll be able to keep a check fairly quickly of how many we've got. That's our first 40. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put, this is the bit of land I bought, I'm going to put one of the silos on here, on the flat bit, and then we'll load it up, save it, come back out, come back in, and hopefully unload bales. Unload bales here. First 40. At least in blocks of 40. It's gonna, I mean, I could work out how many piles I've got there and just multiply it by 8, but right. First part of the next phase complete. I've got 6 stacks of 40. That's 240 bales. So we've already gone beyond the 200 bale limit. So buying them, yep, you can go beyond the 240. I haven't got any magic storage. I've got no building here. I've had no message come up saying too many bales, you must sell some or anything like that. So buying them, yeah, we can go beyond 200, and that doesn't seem to be an issue. Which still does beg the question: if the game can render in over 200 bales, and they're all sitting there quite happily, they're not jiggling, they're not moving, there's no problem with them as yet, why can you only make 200 and then it tells you you've got too many and you've got to sell some? Surely it's got to do with rendering how many are on the game. Unless this is just purely a money-making scam. Giants getting a kickback from the more bales you buy. I don't know. It's very peculiar. But anyway, so we've got 240. Next step then is to do the double check test on the arch under baling technology. Now I need to go for the biggest one of these. So like I say, they've all got numbers underneath, so if you are looking for them, the ones you put bales in are in baling technology. The ones that are just regular shelters, you can still put bales in them, but it's not an auto load one. They're found under shelters. So what I'm going to do is go up until I find the one that says 234, because I've got 240, so we might as well go the whole hog, so to speak. That's round. There we go, 234 square. That will do 338 round. So 234 square bales, 3 slots, 12,500. So betting I'll put it around the wrong way. Let's put it about there. Oh no. So unload point's just in front. So what I'm going to do now is put my 234 square bales into there. We'll save it, come out, come back, and hopefully they'll still be there. And then that will be concluded. Now, are there more bale tests to be done? Possibly. All I'm doing is looking at the bale limit, the 200 bale limit on console at the moment. I mean, it's looking like, yeah, it's not ideal, because to go beyond the 200 bale limit, you need to buy them rather than make them. You could make your first 200, I suppose. You know, that kind of, if you like doing your bales, make your first 200. There are plenty of farms out there that buy their bales in. There are loads of farms that don't make their own bales. So buying bales in is not that out of the realms of possibility. And if you are going to do a big operation and you still are adamant, rather than doing loose, you really want to do bales, you technically can now. These storage things make like that so much easier as well. So right, I'm going to see you in a bit. Having just loaded these all up, dropped them all off, I've now got to reload them and put them into there. So let's load those on. Start the engine. The other thing to be careful of is when you are moving these, especially over towards these shelters, because they are technically an auto-load trailer in essence, or an auto-load shelter, make sure whatever you're transporting, and especially if it's an auto-load, is in transport position. If it's in operating position, when you get up to the silo, you can end up taking bales out of the silo that you've previously stored. So it's just to kind of just be careful when you're doing it. So like I say, what I can do is I can either do it from the trailer or I can unload in front. It's entirely up to me. So what I'm going to do this time, because they're square, I shouldn't have too much of a problem. Take it, always go the wrong way. That way. Zoom in a bit. Unload bales here. Pop out. Go onto there. Enter vehicle and operating position, and that will automatically put them in. Like I say, you can do it off the back of the trailer or you can do it off the ground. It's entirely up to you. Hey, I know I'm reiterating these points over and over again, but I just, you know, so in case you weren't paying attention or you were, I'm still baffled that there are people that watch my videos on mute. But if you do, great. But if you're watching a mod review, surely that's important, isn't it? I would have thought. Anyway, let's get the rest of these in. Right then, we are nearly finished with this experiment, this testing. In there, at the moment, we've got 234 square bales. Those two are off the trailer, they fell off because I had 6 spare. I had 240, they just fell off before. I didn't want to put it into operating position and pick them up again in case it took any out of there. But anyway, enter the vehicle. Open up the help menu, so you sit bottom right, 234 square bales. Now remember, this is the important bit. If I just save the game now, when I come back, they'll all be gone. But what I've got to do, L1 and unload bales. L1 and triangle, they are now unloaded. They are there, they're on the ground, 234 bales. So if I come back out, they're now unloaded, they're on the ground, 234 plus those, so technically 240 bales, which is beyond the bale limit. So what I'm going to do now, save the game, come back in again, and hopefully they should still be there. Okay, let's see, shall we? Start. They're all still there. 234 bales plus the 6 outside, 240. What I'm going to do is enter that. Let's just double check. Let's make sure they're all still there. Operating position. It should roll through the whole lot again. It should tell us there are 234 sitting there. So, have we answered some questions? Yes. Are they the answers you necessarily wanted or are happy with? Not necessarily. It depends. If you're a person that just loves doing manual baling and you want to get out there and do your baling and love doing your baling, there is still technically, there you go, 234. Unload here. Fantastic, and exit. So they are all still there. Then yes, technically there is still a bale limit on console for making them yourself. But you can, like I say, you can still make 200 yourself. That kind of nod to, you know what, I'm doing this myself, I want to have a go. Storage buildings, this storage building, absolutely fantastic. I'll put what it's called. There's not a link because in the Modhub on console. There aren't any links to external sites. It's just in the Modhub. But it's by DDModPassion. Does this work? Yes, it absolutely does. Can you store and have in-game more than 200 bales? Absolutely you can, but it does mean maybe buy them. So, you know, potentially if you're going to go down that route, buy them in, maybe do a massive silage harvest, sell all your silage, the money you make from that, buy your bales in, or, you know, however you want to do it, but you can do it. That's the point, I suppose, I'm just trying to make. And with that, we've come to the end of this test. Well, yeah, it is a test. I hope you found it useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest, whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.